Well, he's done it all at the tender age of 29. He has a 1-inch height advantage, 3-inch via the reach. We are in the bantamweight division. Two guys looking to maybe get into that top 10 if they get the victory. For the particulars, Lupe Contreras.
Este duelo, 3 vueltas, división peso gallo. This bout 3 rounds in the bantamweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Vicente Rodríguez, Dorian Mirasola y Ricardo Celis. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de azul con blanco, presenting the blue corner, wearing blue with white trim. His official weight, 135.5 pounds, su peso oficial, 135 libras y media, en 13 combates. Mantiene un récord de 8 victorias y 5 derrotas in 13 pro bouts. He maintains a record of 8 victories against 5 losses. Fighting out of Huntington Beach, California, Joe Murphy. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido del tricolor boricua, rojo, azul y blanco. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the colors of his homeland, red, white, and blue. He weighed in at 135.75 pounds de toda la báscula, a un peso oficial de 135 libras y 3 cuartos. In 12 professional bouts, he maintains a record of 8 victories against 4 losses en 12 combates profesionales. Mantiene un récord de 8 victorias y 4 derrotas. De cría boricua, and fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, El Cazador, Joey Ruquet. El referee, Alana Vélez.
All right, I gave you back. In the locker room, obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. You want to touch him up, go ahead, come out, fight.
Joey Ruquet, always all business training here in Florida. Looking to continue with his contracted fights with Combate and seeing where that leads to. Looked great in April. Does he keep it going? But it's going to be a very dangerous opponent against Murphy, who they're both in the blue and the white. Ruquet in the blue, white, and the red. Because Murphy hasn't fought in so long. We just don't know.
Well, you know, we all have that fable of the ring rust. Is it true? Listen, it depends on the fighter. But here's the benefit of it, right? You're able to recover your body, take it easy, work on some of your skills, perfect a martial art that maybe you want to really emphasize, whether it's your ground game and your stand-up. So there are their pros and cons, and we're going to see here today what Joe Murphy's all about. As for Joey, he's been very active. This guy's been consistent. And you talk about what great camps. He trains with Jungle MMA up here in Florida with the likes of Felicia Spencer, who
was here with the booth with us a couple weeks ago.
Also veteran Seth Petrozelli, who's known for that knockout with Kimbo Slice. So he has some great back training with Joey Ruquet, and I'm sure he's going to display some of that inside La Jaula here tonight to bring in that action.
Good kick by Murphy. He follows it up with a left hand, and it gets Ruquet out of the center. And the reset here after a minute. Kick right under the armpit, which unbalanced Ruquet, who beat Carlos Puente Jr. via the submission in April. It was his 4th submission victory of his 8 wins. First fight for Combate all the way back in December of 2015 when he fought Gustavo Lopez, who he'd fight again in Lake Tahoe in April of 2019 for the bantamweight title.
Right, and Murphy, 2018 was his last fight. Again, he's been trying to find some fights. A lot of injuries of his opponents, COVID struck. So he's been itching. He's been ready to go. This is an opportunity to flip the coin here and restart his career as a professional. And it's crazy to think, Max, that Joey, prior to becoming a pro, this man had over 30 fights as an amateur. That's wild.
A lot of tread on those tires. And I got to say, Murphy looks good. Murphy looks good for a guy who hasn't fought in a while. Looks like he's interested and has done his homework.
Well, he's been training. He keeps active in the gym. He's sparring with some game competition that keeps him busy. So even though he has not been in an actual fight, you know, with the big lights and inside the cage, when sparring itself, I mean, listen, Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali used to say, training, I hate it, but I know I have to do it because it's going to allow me to be the better fighter when it comes to fighting.
Something inspired him to get back. And here it is. And clearly he has got a building block as he got a little bit of leather on that right hand. And Ruquet backs out in time. Both of these guys are submission specialists, but this has been stand-up for these first 3 minutes of round 1.
You can see here back and forth. Joe Murphy, great.
Good combo. Uppercut.
Great hook and followed with a kick.
And a knee.
Woo! Could have forgot that this guy just fought a few years ago. It's like he never missed any.
Really impressive. We were talking about Joe Murphy. What can we expect? This is a long layup. Does he want to fight? Well, the answer early on is yes.
He hasn't missed a beat.
It's all it takes. We've seen it in this fight game. You can't, what we've learned about mixed martial arts, you cannot look at records, you cannot look at layoffs,
Never.
opponents, and get a real gauge of a fighter. Because at any minute, they could say, this is new. This is new for me, as he gets 2 rights for 1.
Beautiful uppercut from Joe Murphy.
Oh, now sharp right, and then following with the left from Ruquet.
Ruquet coming in really close and tight with those hooks.
Good
Great,
kick.
no kick there to the quad area.
That'll sting.
Great
Murphy,
teep.
root 1. Oh, comes in with the right hand, and that
man.
got Ruquet, who had to back away. Now he's following it up. Murphy peppering with the jab.
Hello, Joe. Beautiful shot.
This is a fight, folks. And it's also, we talk about Ruquet, he doesn't know what to expect. He goes, who is this guy who hasn't fought in so long? I mean, I have fought all these fights in the time that he's fought 1. In 5 years, I've had my entire professional career.
Yeah, and you can look at those old tapes of those previous fights he has, but you're right. It's been a couple of years. Who has he evolved? What has he been working on? We don't know. You can't go back to what he did in the past. You can't judge it from what he did then.
Both corners very vocal as we are reaching the end of an entertaining first round. Changing levels, Ruquet. Combination gets him against the Jaula. Oh, and he dropped him. Both go down. And the first round ends with some fireworks.
Man.
Of course, it's 4th of July weekend. I think I blew out the mic there a little bit. Man. That's how we do it, folks, and we always say, don't stick around just for the main card. You don't want to miss the preliminaries, because this is where the hunger really is at.
They got the memo, Max. Stand up and bang. That's what we like here in Combate Global. And that's what these boys have been doing inside La Jaula. Just back and forth. Kicks and punches and combos and uppercuts from both these dudes. And let's take a look here at the replay, Max. Setting it up, Joe Murphy with a jab, following through with a great combination. Joe trying to go dodge here. That wasn't enough. Joe going forward, an aggressive fighter, landing that shot. Later on, you get a little fancy with that kick and the flying knee, which followed. This guy has no remorse.
Getting ready for round 2, and there was a very serious conversation in the Ruquet corner between his corner men and cataloging what happened in that first round, because I know that couldn't have been the game plan for Ruquet.
No, his corner basically told him, get your head in the game. This guy is serious. Don't underestimate him. It doesn't matter he hasn't fought for a couple of years here.
Close quarters there. Ruquet in the red, white, and blue. Fighting Joe Murphy, who's 34, but he looks 22.
34 is the new 25.
I know. Let's not get in age anyway. That's you. No more Japanese for you. No more talk of age for me.
Here we go, Joey. Ruquet dodging there, trying to use a feint. Joe Murphy, though, he's so patient. You know, he's so patient, and he's precise when he throws in.
But Joe Murphy started his career 6-0. He's 8-5. So you can see he's hit a lot of speed bumps in MMA, and part of the reason why he's probably stepped away. And in our official scoring, this is the official scorecard. Joe Murphy wins it 10-9 for all 3 judges, and that's probably the way we saw it here too. Now Ruquet caught him with that left hand. Over the top of the right.
Ruquet trying to hit him with that cross, but nobody home.
Joe Murphy saying he's tired. I don't know about that, but Ruquet trying to change his target. Now the first
Yeah, changing
takedown's a good
levels.
one.
He does have that second degree black belt in jiu-jitsu under Clever Luciano. And also a dark blue black man in Muay Thai under Tyler Rombles. And we can get into that Muay Thai stuff a little later.
The Joe Murphy corner is illuminating the studio here. You hear everything. Good kick by Ruquet.
That's what Ruquet's doing now, right? He says, let me break him down. He keeps moving forward. Let me just chop down his legs. And it's right there. And Murphy recognized it. He understood that Ruquet was going to go and kick that lead leg. So he moved it back. He needs to check those kicks.
Joe Murphy, interesting with submission. He has a puppy named Darce, named after his favorite choke. He won via Bravo choke. You're gonna have to explain me on that one. We never see that, but he's actually got a victory by that submission. Maybe he wants another puppy. You can call him Bravo. Good kicks here by Ruquet. Catching that lead leg. Very active now. Ruquet knows he has to deliver in round 2.
Both men just displaying great stand-up.
Another takedown.
Joe now going to the ground game, changing that level.
Blocked nicely by Ruquet.
Joe Murphy has grappled in major tournaments of the IBJJF and many others.
Good turn there by Ruquet, who again, just an incredibly decorated career with what he's been able to do. Now they both meet in the center and exchange.
All right, Joe. Murphy's face has changed here. Now
yeah, Ruquet's
it's changing gears here.
Turning the tide here. Uppercut.
Ruquet now showing some confidence. Now he thinks he has this fight in the bag.
Big kick. You can hear the Joe Murphy corner. Do not give him this round. Ruquet is taking it right now. A lot of feints.
And now Murphy, instead of going forward, he's going backwards. Ruquet's pushing the pace in this second round.
Ruquet, father of 3. The striking's now in the groove for El Cazador, Ruquet.
Tables have turned here, Max. Not the same Murphy we were watching in the first round.
Oh, question mark kick.
I love that question. So hard to hit. You know, I've been trying and doing it, and I just can't get it.
It's so much movement.
Luke Rocco just does it so well.
What an incredible story that you shared about getting the black and gold armband for Shudo Bokushingu, which is shoot boxing. It just shows you how he is seeking new martial arts to round out his game. It's so respectful to those martial arts.
People think that when it comes to MMA, right, and for those just tuning in for the first time, it's not just boxing, it's not just jiu-jitsu. I mean, there's so many components. That's what they call themselves well-rounded fighter. You know, freestyle wrestling, folk wrestling. All of this, when you put it into gear.
Oh, uppercut Ruquet.
Hello.
This is a fantastic second round. What a response.
Yeah, Murphy says, well, let me switch gears here. I've been getting
Important
clobbered.
takedown. Heading towards the end of round 2. It will go into the guard of Ruquet, but we are going to a third round. Maybe that changes the judges. We'll see.
Man, let's take a look at the replay here from that second chapter of this fight. Just toe-to-toe, back and forth. That kick from Ruquet woke up Murphy. You can tell here from the emotion that Murphy's like, whoa, it's not looking how it was in the first round. Then later on, he tried to switch the levels to bring the fight to his position. But Ruquet was just very persistent and aggressive, Max.
Some blood around that right eye, some swelling. He needs a lift, there's no doubt about it.
His coach just told him, use that jab, get him away. Because Ruquet keeps coming in, and he's gonna kick that lead kick, and then from carry on.
Big smile from Joey Ruquet across to Joe Murphy. I'm sure Murphy exchanged one too. These guys respect the game, and we will find out the score from round 2, but it certainly feels like everything to fight for. In round 3, Ruquet shot out of a cannon. Murphy with the takedown, it's stuffed. Now, the guillotine attempt.
He got the memo, Max. Says finish it. Go in there, right for the knee. Follow up combo.
Slips. Murphy gets out of dodge.
Let's just wait and see here with that open scoring in the second round. I'd like to see what it is. We could have a 1-1 here. By the way, kudos to Ruquet with that hair color. I don't know if he's...
Oh, he walked into it!
I don't know if it's
Ruquet's
paying homage to
feeling it.
Joker.
Yeah, perhaps. It's tight.
Oh, here we go.
It's all even. All three judges.
Back in the head, Joe.
Murphy is trending the wrong way. Joey gives him the finger. Not that finger, the other one. Come on.
All right.
I was going to say how important that takedown was at the end of round 2 for Murphy, but he hasn't capitalized on it.
Right, wasn't enough. Well,
Ruquet has just turned it all in his favor, all with the striking.
Murphy's corner told him use that jab. He attempted it there, but he seems a little tired.
He's tired.
Last round, yeah.
Yeah, the sails are empty right now. Oh, jab from Ruquet.
Ruquet, man, just great combination. He knew exactly where to strike. He found that hole and landed that 1-2 combination. Murphy, desperate measure, went to the ground game.
Can't
But
grab the wrist.
there's no takedown right there. Ruquet knows better than that.
Ruquet urging him on because he's so far done all the damage in round 3, and with those scorecards which are available to the fighters, would be winning this fight. By the way, Ruquet stood the whole time between the first and second and the second and the third round. Did not take the stool.
Beautiful setup from Ruquet. See how he uses that jab? That 1-2-3 just to flinch and throw him off and follow up with those hooks. Great stuff from Ruquet. And Ruquet knows Murphy that he's not there anymore. He's getting tired.
Murphy, nothing on the takedowns, Rodolfo.
He's attempting to go to the ground. Ruquet's just not having it. Sorry, I don't want to dance with you, man. I don't want to go ahead and go to the ground game. I want to keep this fight standing.
Murphy breathing out of the mouth now. He's tired. He's got to dig deep here. But he has a runaway train in front of him.
Oh,
Ruquet shooting from every angle, back to the ground. Remember, Ruquet's really good on the ground, submission specialist.
Yeah, but Max, Ruquet is just tired. I mean, sorry, Murphy is tired.
Is this a good strategy? Ruquet stepping away, go eat that clock.
Ruquet knows, he knows that first round could have, in his mind, could have gone either way, right?
He knows
second round, he knows the second. So he knows what he has to do in the third.
Oof. Another just absolute smack on that lead leg.
And see how confident Ruquet is now in this third round? In that first, he was a little hesitant.
We talk about the layoff, and you can train for 15 minutes of fighting, but you can't imitate what the actual fight, right?
The adrenaline, the rush, it's a whole different.
Yeah, because he's running on empty now, Murphy.
Oh,
Superman punch. Big kick followed up. Murphy continues to back away. 90 seconds to go.
Great bobbing and weaving from Ruquet, man. That boxing is just sharp.
Oh,
He even threw in an elbow there. He snuck one in there. Oh, body shot, knee. That's it. Ruquet smells blood.
and the corner, finish him, Joey. He wants to finish him, no doubt about it, but he's got to fight smart here.
And Ruquet's frustrated. He wants to keep the fight standing because he knows that he can take him out.
1 minute left.
Wow, it's like night and day for Ruquet from that first round and the second and third. Just a different fighter.
Hats off to Ruquet. He absorbed the pressure. Yeah. He talked to his corner about the game plan. There was an adjustment. He made it. He's winning this fight.
Oh. Yeah. Great boxing work from Ruquet, though, man. See how he does that jab, bobbing and weaving, throwing in now the elbows.
Into the guard.
Hence, that's why he's recognized in Japan with that shoot boxing ranking.
He's got Murphy pinned down. Gets that heel out of there.
30 seconds, Joey. Finish him.
They still want him to finish it, and he's going for the kill.
He wants that. He wants that victory. He doesn't want to leave it to the judge's hands.
Murphy knows it too. It's all about pride, and he's showing lots of it. Has got nothing in his lungs.
Nothing. He can even throw an up kick there. That's how tired he is. Usually that you would do. You would throw an up kick.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that one.
Another punch into the gut. And that's it. Ruquet, all class all the time, picking up Murphy. This was a real comeback effort. And Ruquet looks like he did enough. We'll be back for the official decision.
Los tres jueces entregan tarjetas idénticas de 29 a 28. All three judges turn in identical scores of 29 to 28 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. A favor del vencedor por decisión unánime. Boricua to the bone. El cazador. Joey Ruquet.
9-4, back-to-back wins here in 2022. He is a name Combate fans know very well, and he is making quite the revival. Will it get him up the bantamweight ranks? Certainly should. Time will tell. Can't wait to see El Cazador again. Matchmaker Tony Padilla, Mauricio, Rios, Luis Sifuentes coming your way next.
My name is Amaya. I'm 27 years old and I'm fighting out of Spokane, Washington. I started practicing MMA back when I was in nursing school. One of my classmates invited me to a kickboxing class. Eventually I started doing jiu-jitsu classes, wrestling classes, and then I just got hooked. The most difficult obstacle in my life, I would say, is I was diagnosed with pretty good depression. This sport has helped me through that because at the end of the day, like fighting in a cage or fighting outside, it's your choice. You have everything you need to battle. My advice for people is you have to keep going and you have to keep finding a support system for you because your life is important and it matters that you're here. My fighting style would be just ready to kill. I don't like going 3 rounds. Like I'm there to finish it as quick as I can. I think one of my coolest moves that sticks out to me right now was when I had Jessica against the cage. And I was kind of just trying to breathe and catch my breath and think about how do I get her off, because she was strong. So I kind of just came down on her body a little bit, got on one knee, and I just tossed her over, and that was a pretty cool feeling to get her down easy. I think what makes me different from my opponents is that I've shown a lot of my jits stuff in my ground and I'm powerful there, but I'm also becoming very comfortable in my stand-ups. When I go into the Jaula, I'm just ready to give everything that I can.
Luis Sifuentes, who makes his debut at the age of 27, 2 inches taller than Rios, all even on the reach. We are in the featherweight division, and one of these guys hopes to take that next step at the expense of the other. Mexico, United States. Let's get ready for our next fight and go back inside the Jaula to Lupe Contreras.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. 3 vueltas, división peso pluma. We continue with much more action. 3 rounds in the featherweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Michael Tate, Vicente Rodríguez y Dorian Mirasola. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de rojo, presenting the blue corner, wearing red. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 144 libras. He tipped the scales at an official 144 pounds. Entra a la jaula por segunda vez a nivel profesional con récord de 1 victoria. He enters la jaula for the second time as a pro with a record of 1 victory. De la capital azteca, la Ciudad de México, DF, Mauricio Rios. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido del tricolor mexicano, verde, blanco y rojo. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the colors of Mexico, green, white, and red. His official weight, 145.5 pounds. Su peso oficial, 145 libras y media. Esta noche se lanzan las grandes ligas de las artes marciales mixtas dentro de la jaula de Combate Global. Tonight, he makes the leap into the big leagues of MMA. Inside of la jaula of Combate Global. From Temecula, California, and hailing from Fremont, Nebraska, Luis Sifuentes. El referee, Marcos Pérez.
Marcos Perez, the third inside la jaula. Mouthpiece situation here. Now the fighters will come to the center of the cage.
Ok, ya saben las reglas, quiero una pelea limpia, ¿ok? Y obedezcanme a tu documento, ¿ok? Choque cuando si quieren.
Well, you get one chance at a first impression if you're Luis Sifuentes. This man already made a really nice first impression by beating Martin Justiz via a sub-heel hook back in November. We're underway. It is Rios in red.
Great striking from Lewis, right, to get the fight started. This man, he said, listen, I felt a little awkward where I lived in Iowa. He felt different where he lived. Like you mentioned, he's from a small town. But he made the change. He wanted to become a mixed martial artist, left that state of Iowa, went to Nebraska, wrestled, and now he's in California training with Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center with the likes of Trevor Wells, Ashley Yoder, and so many more. But when you mention Dan Henderson, I think that's enough, right?
My favorite all time in mixed martial arts. And they're in Temecula, California. Great wine country, by the way, if you ever get a chance to visit. Beautiful up there in the mountains, the vineyards, not too far from San Diego. Sifuentes will take a seat. Rios doing some work on top.
And Mauricio, great jiu-jitsu.
Gets the back now, Sifuentes.
And this is what happened here. He seems that he's very confident. This could come to an end real quickly. All he has to do here, he could tip him down here, put that foot to bring him down.
Got a warning from Marcos Perez to holding the Jaula.
It happens. It's the first professional fight for Lewis.
Yeah, well, what's going through his mind? I mean, there's a lot here that you have to absorb. It's all, you have the designs, you have your plans all beautifully laid out. Then you get in here and they change.
He had over 10 fights, or about 10 fights in amateur. But nonetheless, especially he fought in states where MMA was not as big. Even in some states, believe it or not, they're still working their athletic commission and the rules and bringing it up because they don't have as many fights. And that's why he ended up leaving his state of Iowa and going to other states. So, yes, this is a big stage for him. He has to get used to now the rules of professional MMA. You don't hold the fence or the cage, la jaula.
That's what it's worth.
There's that sweep that Mauricio is looking for to work down the ground game. Has a great grip of that leg to scoop him in. Now Lewis, Lewis needs to get out of this position. La jaula is prohibiting him from doing anything. He needs to get out. Mauricio just has the upper hand.
That's what it's worth.
As Pete putting all that strength, pushing him in, trying to scoop him in, and then perhaps even transition to get Lewis's back, and then work some sort of a submission in the way. Attempted a knee, but you can see, Max, that right from the get-go, Rios' strategy here is go for a submission.
You talk about Iowa and the Midwest. It used to be a pretty flourishing place for MMA when you think of Pat Miletich and Robbie Lawler, who was from San Diego, ended up going to school in Iowa and had this incredible career. I believe he's fighting again here. And Matt Hughes, not from Iowa, but that Midwest was burgeoning and slowed down a bit.
Because of wrestling. You know,
the wrestling, of course.
Great wrestling in that area. They're top-notch fighters.
When you think of wrestling, you think of Iowa.
Absolutely.
Iowa State, Dan Gable, all of that comes into view. But the wrestling, it's adapted. So where it was, these fighters were so successful because they had that wrestling background, you've got to be more well-rounded now.
You got to evolve. Yes, it's great to have that fundamental of wrestling. It can take you a long way. But this is a sport that involves many martial arts. You got to know them all. And here's Mauricio.
Sifuentes learning a lot of lessons here as he's given up his back at least 3 times.
This is where Rios wants him, in the center of La Jaula, where he can work his way and obtain another submission victory. He has a half Nelson, or working on a half Nelson. To flip him
on
over.
That arm. Not much on the striking. You can see there's not much behind the punches when they were standing up. Clearly, certainly in Rios' case, he wants to set up this exactly.
Not much, and you can see Lewis is here. He's kind of puzzled how to get out of this position.
Let's work.
He grabs the hand. Rios does have that leg in between, forbidding him from Lewis from getting out of that position. Rios, of course, is trying to, and there he got, well, Lewis
settles
it up.
Much better here for Sifuentes, trying to clear the guard. Little rubber guard there from Rios. Bringing that left leg up very high. Sifuentes almost through. we're heading to the end of this first round. It's really been a feeling out process. I know it sounds cliche, but that's what we've been seeing.
Oh, he's in trouble. That's how he gets that heel hook from Martin. Could happen again. Oh.
That's how he got his first victory in his professional career. Now we get back to the feet. Good punches
Now
by
we gotta
Rios.
fight, boys. There we go.
A little flurry. It got good there at the very
At
end.
the end.
We had to wait for it.
If I was Lewis, keep it in the center of La Jaula. Strike. Strike. You know that Rios has a great ground game. Keep it in the middle. Look, toe-to-toe, right from the start, they were exchanging. And Mauricio knew the power that Lewis had. He knew that Lewis had a great stand-up game. And then Rios, confident with his jiu-jitsu game, attempted to go for some sort of submission, whether it be a rear naked choke or go for the back. And then at the end of this fight, it's back and forth shots. Unfortunately, the bell rang, but hey, we got another episode of this fight.
Back here for round two, Luis Sifuentes, a lot the wiser after 5 minutes inside the Jaula. We'll see what he can take away from that experience. Rios, we talked about his jiu-jitsu game, training there in Mexico City with 10th Planet, and he showed a lot.
You know, Max,
A couple attempts there, including that heel hook, which got him a victory back in November.
yeah, he might go to, and now again it goes to the ground. Rios, you could tell just from the start. I mean, that's just the game plan. Stand up with him a little bit, and let's switch gears and take this fight to the ground. By the way, Max, did you know both these guys have something in common?
What's that?
They both like video games.
Video games. Probably not the best part of an MMA diet, quite frankly, but it works for some.
I know we recently had a fighter. He said he spent like, I don't know.
Are you a video game guy yourself, Rodolfo?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. That's a good answer. That's the right answer.
I do like, I like fighting games.
There you go. Well, you know, there's, you call that research. Almost maybe a starting attempt for a Kimura by Sifuentes. He's trying to get that wrist control. Rios not having it.
Yeah, Rios again just searching, see what he can attempt. But see the fact that Lewis is right next to La Jaula makes it difficult actually for Rios and for Lewis to get out of this position.
That left arm of Sifuentes is locked in, and now he's got him almost cradled over.
Kind of awkward position. He does have an opportunity for a crucifix. All he has to do is lay his body and just land the shots. Lewis is now giving his back. That's what Rios has been waiting
Rios
for.
locked it in.
Rios has been waiting for that. He got it.
Can he lower the hips?
He's to flatten him out. Now he can work for that rear naked choke. He could have it. Just sink it in there, Max.
Rodolfo, we pieced together what we saw in November here. This is really good ground game from Rios.
He's very confident.
And Artiste.
And
Big,
he might have it.
now he's got it. He's grinding it in.
I can see from this angle, no, but he does have the chin down, so he doesn't have it locked in yet.
What's Sifuentes got to do here?
In this position, he has to move, try to grab that wrist there to break it up, but he has to be very careful because if he moves and put that chin up for whatever reason, he can get caught.
Still not
And he
underneath
has
the
it.
chin.
Rios may have it.
He turns the head.
You do have sweat in there too, Max, that could play a role. That could be very slippery and actually benefit Rios.
Sifuentes has his eyes closed, but he's just looking for the next move. Releases the hold.
And he does have that figure four very tight on Lewis.
A lot of time still on this second round, and Rios locked in around the waist. A warning there from Marcos Perez.
Again, Rios bringing back the fight to where he wants it on the ground. Yeah, see, Lewis is doing what he has to. He's turning, but at the same time, there he goes. He cut that figure four lock out the way. Now he quickly needs to pop up his hips.
Sifuentes really turtling
right
in there.
Lewis can get out of that position. Just scoop your butt out. There we go. Now
Armbar.
he can switch gear, but no, he has the arm bar. Big mistake. He left it hanging.
Rios is throwing everything. I mean, we've had 3 different distinct submission attempts. 4 when you go back to the heel hook from round 1.
But now Lewis does have that right leg. Don't know what he's going to do with it. Maybe he's going to dump it down and sweep him and go for maybe some ground and pound action if he has that opportunity.
Pretty impressive from Luis Sifuentes to still be here with everything Rios has shown to him. It's been an awkward, at times weird fight, and these guys in some uncompromising positions against Sifuentes trying to roll away.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't see this.
Well, it is his first professional fight.
Yes, it's survival.
So you live and learn.
But it's awkward and strange, and it's making things hard on Rios, I guess is one way to put it.
Yes.
They're gonna come up.
Barber just stood him up. Wasn't seeing much action there. See this fight right there in the center.
Single leg.
Rios going back for that single. Luis once again in the same position, just Rios good shoulder position.
Ducking in again. And now Sifuentes turning the tables a bit. It almost looks like a tango going on there. Legs coming in and out. Just missing a little accordion.
Right, and that's what you want. But look, Rios is hanging on to the kick.
This is better for Sifuentes. Now he can take the high ground.
Use some hammer fists. Throw some shots. And as you're showing, and as you're punching, kind of bring Rios to the side to push it out La Jaula.
We're reaching the end of the second round. There's the bell.
Go to the corner.
It's an odd fight. Something that you expect it. I mean, there's so much at stake for these two guys. In the first jaunt in the professional debut, and just for Sifuentes, just the second for Rios.
I mean, you clearly see it here. Rios is great on his jiu-jitsu game, and Luis has good wrestling. So you might not have that 10 in jiu-jitsu, but you have that 10 in wrestling, so you're able to defend it and get away from any potential submissions. So that's why we're seeing what we are seeing right now on your screen. Now Rios needs to be more persistent. Land those submissions when the opportunity is there. Go for the kill, go for the finish. As for Luis, if you want to take it to the ground, land the shots, land the hammer fist. Don't just lay on your opponent. Be active.
Back here for round 3, Luis Sifuentes has seen a lot. Close to submission, it would appear, but he's still standing. And he has a third round to fix things against Mauricio Rios in red. Representing Mexico City. They just go flat-footed there in the center of the jaula.
You got less than 5 minutes to go. That's it. You got a half tank of gas. Let it ride.
Changing levels, Rios, but if either of these guys were a little sharper in striking, they would have a very tasty target to throw at. Pretty exposed there, both of them.
Well, Luis likes to strike, but he allows Rios to commit. He's not using the jab to kip him off. And we're seeing a replication of what we saw in that first and second round. Using the jaula as a way to really makes it very difficult, obviously, for Rios, because he can't move around to land a submission as we're getting the referee's point of view, that referee camera angle. And again, Rios is just searching, looking, and Luis here what's really protecting him is his wrestling. He's able to just transition.
Rios taking the back again. He has been here before. Trying to triangle that in underneath with the figure 4 if he can.
Or he's actually trying to slip in the other leg in so he can open up the hips. And he's trying to look for that armbar, but see, it's so hard because you have the jaula right next to you. So
yeah,
you
that's why you want the center.
You can't push back. You can't, right there in that position, as Rios, you grab in both of your hands and you push back, but the jaula is in the way. So you got to take this fight to the center of the jaula.
Sifuentes is out. Rios follows him around, sits him down. I mean, Rios has been the aggressor. Rios has been attempting to finish this fight. Sifuentes has just been reacting,
Right.
and Rios now has won rounds 1 and round 2 in our official scoring.
You said it right, Max. He's just reacting, but he's not doing anything with it.
It's taking a toll here, having Rios hang on you. And Rios also learning here on the job, having to be a little more clinical in these situations with a relatively open target in Sifuentes. Again, locked in.
Yeah, but Rios too, land some hammer fists, land some shots, because that's gonna allow Lewis to open up. Because it's kind of like, you know, when a fly's next to you, try to push it off, right? So now you leave that open gap for Rios could land in a rear naked choke.
Another rear naked choke
There it
attempt.
is.
It's on the chin. Can it get under the chin?
Let's go.
Marcos Perez, well, let's get some work going here. Rios is trying.
Yeah, right there. See, oh, there we go. See, now he lands a shot. Again, those little shots, even though they don't do much damage, it's a distraction.
Sifuentes just trying to limit the area where Rios can work at.
He might switch there to trying to grab that arm and go for the armbar
Still
here,
got those
Max.
legs,
No,
Ted.
there it is. He's switching to go for the armbar because now he has that space. Now he's able to pull away in the back.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating fight for both these guys, but Rios at least has been resourceful. Trying to show you his jiu-jitsu, his ground game, which has been solid, but not good enough to finish the fight just yet. There is the view from the referee.
Lewis needs to push to the left and roll and pull out that
Slips
arm.
out of the armbar.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Rios got to be careful here.
There, see, now you need to work. He almost had a track.
He made
I
that
get
work in
that
that heel
hook.
hook. Upstairs, downstairs, nobody home. 1 minute to go here in this fight, which has been
you hear that
predominantly on the
corner
ground.
hammer fist? None
Not
of that is
listening.
happening. Not action. Not active at all. It's just like they're just laying.
Heel
he's
hook
laying on
time.
him.
Sifuentes does have something to take away from this. He has been pretty good defending these submission attempts.
Again, if you're a good wrestler, you know, you're able to defend. That's all. But you need to be active. You got that defense. He had some opportunities when he was in the guard to land in some shots. He didn't do anything with it. He just laid on him.
A reminder, another Marcos Perez separation. Our main card coming your way here at the top of the hour. Our bantamweight rankings are out. All the rankings are out. Check it out on the Combate's social handles. Discuss amongst yourselves. This is an exciting day for the company as we have data and we have rankings where fighters can pick and choose opponents. As we reach the end of this fight, it will be Rios' night. It wasn't pretty, not one for the Hall of Fame capsule, but it's a fight. Looks like a win to get Rios to 2-0. We'll be back.
Después de 3 vueltas, los jueces están totalmente de acuerdo con tarjetas idénticas de 30 a 27 after 3 rounds. The judges are in complete agreement with identical scores of 30-27 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. A favor del ganador por decisión unánime de la capital azteca, Mauricio Rios.
Mauricio Rios looks up and goes, this is not the way he envisioned it. He wanted to finish it, and certainly frustrated by the fact that Sifuentes was able to squirm out time and time again. But it's a victory, and 2-0, as we always like to say, sounds better than 1-0. Sounds better than 0-1. We're getting ready for our main card here, Combate Global on Paramount Plus. The global audience tuning in live. We're in Miami. All right, a recap of what we saw here. Luis Sifuentes making his professional debut.
We can see Max right from the start. A little bit of stand and bang from both these men, but later the fight will go down to the canvas where Mauricio Rios searched for a submission. Luis's defense just wasn't allowing Rios to capitalize on it. And that was the end there of that second round. It was first round. Then in the second, we move forward. Rios again is searching to complete this fight and go for a victory, searching for a submission. However, Luis just made it very difficult for him to capitalize on a submission. However, Lewis's professional debut. Of course, this is it's a whole different panorama when you step inside La Jaula. As Rios and both these men, they attempted to exchange again. This is the third round. Rios scooping up Lewis. However, Rios took the victory by unanimous decision. Didn't get a submission victory though, but he's 2-0 inside La Jaula.
Well, we know these are the fights that the top brass at Combate Global don't want. They want to see mucho más acción.
MMA.
Sometimes you can't get it that way. So maybe get a reprieve, they'll get another chance, and certainly are expected to bring the fireworks the next time around.
We can send up some cafecito.
They need a cafe.
My name is Naomi Tataroglu. I'm from Holland. I describe my fighting style, you know, like aggressive. They say to me I'm like a pit bull, you know, when I grab somebody, I don't want to let you go anymore. I like to punch people and knock people out. I like, you know, to do a lot of boxing techniques because I see that a lot of girls don't have the boxing skills. They just do a lot of groundwork and forget the stand-up. My biggest motivation is my mom. She, yes, the most people know that I don't have her around me anymore. But yeah, she is my biggest motivation about, you know, fighting. She just learned me how to fight. You know, when you're down, you have to go up. So how I am now is, yes, it's just because of her. My opponent can expect, you know, a great show. I'm fit, I'm strong, I feel myself great. So I want to do everything for the win. I want the title fight, so I have to. Yeah, I have a dream, you know, to become a champion, and I know in my head when I just push myself and you know, get the best version of yourself, I will be a champion.
The head-to-head, both these fighters in their 30s, but a Whitney at 38. Many would feel that's over the hill, but it's the new 28.
That's right.
We're at 140, 4-inch reach advantage for Briseño, who is very long with his kicks. Both fighters coming in 5 and 7 inches tall. We go to Lupe Contreras.
Las reglas oficiales de la jaula, 3 vueltas de 5 minutos, 3 jueces utilizando el sistema de 10 puntos. Este duelo, pactado a 140 libras de spout, at a catch weight of 140 pounds. Los jueces son, the judges are Ricardo Celis, Michael Tate y Vicente Rodríguez. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de rojo con blanco, presenting the blue corner, wearing red with white trim. He weighed in at 139 and 1/2 pounds. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 139 libras y media en 26 combates. Mantiene un récord de 16 victorias con 10 derrotas in 26 professional bouts. He maintains a record of 16 victories against 10 losses. Hailing from Kansas City, Missouri, and now fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Sir Andrew Whitney. Su rival en la esquina roja, también vestido de rojo con blanco, his opponent in the red corner, also wearing red with white. His official weight, 139 and 1/4 pounds, su peso oficial, 139 libras y un cuarto en 16 combates. Mantiene un récord de 13 victorias y 3 derrotas in 16 pro bouts. He maintains a record of 13 victories against 3 losses. De la Ciudad de México, DF, Carlos Briseño. El referee, Alana Vélez.
Alana Vélez, the third inside the jaula. Big fight here.
In the locker room, obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. If you want to touch him up, go ahead, come out, fight. Judge. Carter. Judge. Fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Fight!
We are underway. Carlos Briseño, Andrew Whitney. It is, again, both fighters in red and white, but Briseño with his back to the screen, representing Mexico. Whitney, very proud of his Kansas City, Missouri roots.
Andrew Whitney, unlike the first time we saw him in La Jaula against Martin Bravo, more patient, more calm, trying to pick where he could strike. Great overhand, just missed it. But if that overhand right would have caught Carlos Briseño, it would have been a good night, Irene. Carlos, great sharp hands, very fast. Again, good dirty boxing as well. He's gonna use that jab and that reach that he has over Andrew Whitney.
Briseño coming on the inside leg of Whitney. Whitney talking about how Kansas City breeds killers, blue collar, hard-working Missouri. He represents hardcore. His fighting style is street-born, hard knocks. Calling it street jitsu. It's got a good ring to it.
Let's make a t-shirt out of it. He used to play football. He was a tailback back then. And free safety. And he used to play baseball, center fielder in high school. This guy's an all-around athlete.
Sweeping movement from Briseño. You can see the length. An excellent kickboxer. Saying, Whitney, bring it on. 13-3, fighting at 140, but he's going to be at 135. Were you surprised him being ranked 6th in that top 10? I figured he'd be in the top 10. It felt a little high to me.
I think it's fair game. He had some, we've seen him inside of Jaula, great action. He was a competitor in the Copa Combate. Had some tough challenges there. But fair game. And a great, he's just an all-around athlete for Carlos Briseño. And listen, he has an opportunity. You want to debate him, Max? He'll show you tonight. He has that chance. Why am I ranked? Why am I in this bantamweight ranking at this number? He'll prove to you. I'll tell you one man who's keeping a close eye, and that's David Martinez.
At the top. It's a good feeling to be at the top, but he also has a big target. As Whitney, close quarters, big knee from Briseño.
Yeah, this is what happened. The same thing happened for Whitney when he took on Bravo. He got into that scrap, and he got a little less confident, a little loopy, and he put his hands down, and he got caught. Carlos Briseño could do the same thing here. I won't be surprised if Whitney switches levels and goes to the ground here and uses his wrestling, because it's a good opportunity right here. But now the fact that Briseño is pinning Andrew to La Jaula, it's going to make it quite difficult.
Knee in there from Whitney.
No, there it was. That's actually Briseño. Briseño was the one that took him down. Briseño might even go for a submission victory here tonight.
Whitney saying his last few fights, everything's been off timing. Took fights short notice. Says everything is right now. He's hard-nosed, he's grinding.
Whitney trying to push that grip, push out his hips. Whitney needs to get out of that position. The Jaula's prohibiting him from moving. He's just trying to grab that wrist and transition to get out. But yeah, he is grabbing that fence. Alan Labella just gave him a warning. He's desperately finding that opportunity to rip the grip and get out. Carlos perhaps could slam him here. He could also put one of the feet to
another big
bring him
knee.
down.
Briseño, we talked about his training. And training with David Martinez that you talked about there at Bone Breakers.
How crazy
so he's
that
getting
would
a
be.
good look.
Team versus teammate, right? And usually
Could happen.
Usually camps don't like to fight their own teammates, but when you got gold on the line, all that's thrown out the window. We saw that with John Jones and Rashad Evans. Once teammates, then became enemies.
It can happen, and they usually stay that way. Whitney's been second best so far in this first round, which is reaching its conclusion. It's a great reprieve for Whitney. He got that main event against Martin Bravo. He was a big underdog, and it showed in the fight. Short notice fight, big left hand. Briseño, that one hurt Whitney.
Great jab. Whitney going for an uppercut. There's the belt.
Briseño's got to feel good about that.
he had more of the upper hand in this fight. Let's try to see if we can listen into the corner when we get back after watching the replay. Andrew Whitney, just the aggressor from the start, chasing Carlos Briseño. Briseño landing a knee. And then right here, pinning him to La Jaula, landing knees, shots, trying to bring down Whitney and finish it early. That wasn't the case. That one did rock Whitney there for a second. Woke him up, but let's go to the corner, see what we can hear.
Lots of coaching here for Briseño, who was in the Copa Combate, lost to Christian Barraza, which was certainly a surprise result. That was last December. That was in the quarterfinal round, so he was one and done.
Yeah, he came in there as a favorite, and then Barraza ended up taking that win.
Big win for Chile.
And that's a great story that occurred last year.
Back here for round two. Briseño in all likelihood winning the first round. We'll get the official scorecard here momentarily. It's got some adjustments need to be made for Whitney.
Carlos just needs to keep pushing that pace, keep coming in. And you can see Vandy's just backing up. There we go.
Using that left hand. Briseño did beat Adam Martinez back in October of last year via unanimous decision.
As for Andrew, I don't know why he's not pulling the trigger of that wrestling. Why not explore it?
You saw that one strike from Briseño that Whitney wiped off his face. He didn't like it. Now you can see the puffiness around that left eye. He comes in.
So again, pinning him to the jaula. Again, Whitney's gonna grab both of those, the grip, and then turn, but
Peppering Whitney.
great positioning from Carlos, preventing him. And there's the open scoring, Max. You can see going to Briseño that first round.
We talked about Briseño starting his career at 9-1. Andrew Whitney started 8-1. Then he had a couple of rough patches. He's worked hard at his game. He feels he has still a lot to give, even at his age.
Work your head in there.
Well, Max, you start out heavy, right? It's very easy to climb the first steps of Mount Everest, but once you get to the top, only a handful can say they've climbed it all the way to the top.
Power knee that just missed. Telegraphed it to be.
Great feint there from Whitney.
Briseño comes in and out.
Yeah, but Briseño has that reach. Great overhand.
Briseño got one in too. Whitney having some issues with the
Getting in
distance.
there. Yeah, again, Briseño has that reach. So in this position, sometimes you're gonna have to probably get hit and cut him in to get inside. Work the body.
To the clinch.
Get some body shots in there for Whitney.
I mean, Whitney's got those arms. He's a stronger fighter. You can see the muscles glistening, but Briseño is giving no quarter, taking none in these tight quarters.
You gotta turn him here. We gotta turn him. We gotta turn him.
Whitney's quarter telling him, gotta turn him. Not really attempting. Almost looks like he's just wanting to catch up his breath here.
Whitney should throw in some knees. The opportunity's there.
Turn him. Turn him.
Right there, right smack right there. You can land in there, right knee in the side.
Gets separated by Alan Abeles, so didn't have to turn him in the end. He gets back to the center of La Jaula. Sweeping left hand by Briseño, follows up with the kick.
And it seems almost like Carlos, when he throws in those hands, sometimes he has that open hand slap. See if we see it once again. You might see it here. Great upperhead. Uppercut. Not with a lot of power, but he did land it. Great low kick from Carlos. Overhand right from Whitney. Blocked though by Carlos. See how he opens up? It's like one of the Diaz brothers made that famous, that open hand slap.
Briseño peppering with the jabs, those long jabs. Good footwork. He's just having a nice fight so far, and we're halfway through, more than halfway through. Whitney's just not been able to get on track.
Whitney checking that kick, even stomping to throw off Andrew. Didn't phase Andrew.
Andrew cut a great interview for us, and he was very pro-Missouri. He goes, I'm from Missouri. That's how I'm different. It ain't country. And then he brought up the show Ozark. It was at Missouri, and I was like, oh boy.
Really?
Yes.
I know.
He was also asked about, because we always ask him, we were always trying to connect MMA and football, soccer. And I said, we said, who's your favorite team? He goes, I root for Mexico when I watch soccer. And then said, te amo to the Spanish language fans. Smart. Good left hand, Briseño.
He's never is at a stone.
And Whitney's just taking a lot right now.
He's not being persistent. Every time that Carlos comes in, he backs away instead of going to the corners and striking. He's not countering.
Yeah.
There he is.
He's first that time.
And the thing is, when he throws that, I get it. He's trying to go for the kill with the overhand right, but as soon as he throws it, he leaves himself exposed.
Into the
There
ribs.
it is.
You can see the torque on the punches of Whitney.
Yeah.
If he connects, they're going to sting.
Right.
Oh, good right hand. Oh, he dropped it with the left.
There's the
Whitney's
left.
back in it. Briseño's hurt. Briseño's
He's
eyes roll
slipping.
to the back of his head. Briseño's taking one after the other. 10 seconds to go.
I could have sworn that man was sleeping, man.
His eyes roll to the back of his head. Alan Abeles is thinking about it. Briseño in survival mode.
Look, he's wobbling.
And look at the mark.
Yeah, look, see how he's moving around there?
Dude, he may have a cracked orbital. I mean, that left side looks flattened out.
And I can see Andrew's frustrations looking at the ref. Did you see him there?
He's having a conversation.
Right. I mean, I
His
don't know where
eyes
Alan
rolled
was.
out. He looked out.
We saw it. We saw, I mean, here we go, the replay here. Overhand right at the beginning of the second round. Wasn't phased by that jab. Another one. Dodge it like the Matrix. Follow with a knee. And then that overhand right
There.
again. He was clocking the
Beautiful
left. And then you're going to see it zooming in when his eyes just roll back.
That one.
There. I mean, kudos for Carlos. The guy just woke up real quickly.
And he's having a conversation with his corner.
So he's in the game.
But he left a big
See if
old
we can
mark.
see it. Here we go. This is a better shot. Yeah. Look at the referee right there. See how he was moving around.
What? Alves goes, what do you want me to do? He could have.
Yeah.
But he gave Briseño. You want to give the fighters the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, Carlos was still there. Yes, for that split second. He looked like he was counting sheep.
Surprised a little bit. Whitney hasn't fired out here. Leg caught. Briseño now gets on top.
Oh, what a comeback that would be, right?
So Whitney was saying he should have stopped the fight.
Yeah. He looked at he gave him a hard look saying, hey, why didn't you stop it? But to give the benefit of a doubt to Alan Abeles, Carlos stood up. He went to the corner, sat down.
Now he's got the back, and maybe he can get into the submission game. Not really locked in, but Whitney's gone through a lot in these 2 rounds.
Yeah,
Not really defending this all that well.
Yeah, he needs to get out of this real quickly, grab that grip. Use that hip movement to get out quickly. Because Carlos doesn't have any tight grip there. He attempted a figure 4, but doesn't have anything at all. Now Whitney needs to get out of that. Grab that wrist, break the lock, position. You see that left arm? All he has to do, he can even use the Jaula to position himself as force to push away and get off.
Briseño, a exemplary striker. The ground game not his forte, but he's been working on it. Unloading these knees.
Now he can posture himself. See how he's using those shoulders to use it to pop his hips up, to break the lock.
Keep working.
Briseño now with the knowledge that Whitney has knockout power. Getting the underhooks.
There's the underhooks that he needs to get off of that because Carlos is just breathing, and there it is. He found that opportunity. Of course, the sweat helped him out.
Center of the Jaula.
Whoa, look at
Out of
those.
range.
Look at that scorecard there.
All levels, so that flurry by Whitney convinced all 3 judges. It was impressive, but remember, it was the last 30 seconds of the fight. Other than that, it seemed like Briseño had the upper hand. If you are Whitney's corner, do you tell him that? You're even.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm certainly.
Go for the kill.
I would say if you're Briseño's corner, but Briseño has a game plan and he's executing it. This is the way it's going to be.
Right, if it's working, then don't change it. But for Whitney, go for it.
I was surprised Whitney won that second round. I'm surprised all 3 judges saw it that way.
Well, that's what they said.
The power punch
leave it to
matters.
the judges.
I would say maybe 2 or 3 would have figured that, but all 3 shows how convincing that the final act of round 2 was.
I know there's been a lot of conversation on how they judge in mixed martial arts lately. And that's a debate itself.
Well, a lot at stake for both fighters, in particular Briseño, who is number 6 in our recently released bantamweight rankings. Initially, if you find yourself 6 and you're a Briseño, you're thinking, how do I get up to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? It's not by losing.
Nope.
And you can see yourself right out of the top 10.
Now the question is, for those who handle the rankings, if Carlos Briseño defeats Whitney, does he climb up? Was it enough? Was it impressive enough?
Good kick that rocked back
Whoa,
Whitney.
great body
Uppercut.
shot. Now he needs to follow it up.
The Whitney corner liked it.
There it is.
Maybe another fast finish here in round 3 for Whitney. It worked well for him in round 2.
Yeah. Andrew needs to work that body once again and then land the overhand right. He's setting it up.
Using the
that
jab.
Yep.
Good evasive move. Gets away from that strike of Briseño. Under a minute to go here in the final round.
Briseño is doing what he needs to do. He understands there's less than a minute to go. Just dance around, keep Andrew busy, trying to chase him. And that's it, and use that reach. All Carl needs to do is just keep the momentum going. As for Andrew, he needs to pull the trigger.
Andrew Whitney, who left a huge mark on the left cheek of Briseño. Almost finished the fight. Briseño survived, and now he's 20 seconds away. But who wins this round? It's been pretty even.
Oh, okay, that was blocked. Carlos calling him in to come in.
Oh, good jab.
Oh,
massive roundabout.
Nothing, it just looked pretty.
The roundhouse. This is going to be an interesting scorecard.
Very. Yeah, this is.
We'll find out the officials when we return. Combate Global live. The judges like his work in round 2.
Never know.
We are back. This was a tough one to call. Let's go to Lupe.
Mucha más acción. Los jueces están de acuerdo con tarjetas idénticas de 29 a 28. After 3 rounds of much more action, the judges turn in identical scores of 29 to 28. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Los 3 a favor del vencedor por decisión unánime. De México, Carlos Briseño.
Little nod there from Whitney in agreement, but he gave it a good go there. Maybe just need a little more activity in round 3 as Carlos Briseño improves to 14-3, and we see where he goes in the rankings. Much more coming. Co-main event next on Combate Global on Paramount Plus. Here inside the Jaula as we get ready for 2 more big-time fights. Quick reminder for those that thought they were going to see Anna Palacios and Bo Hyun Park. We hope to see both those fighters, but COVID protocols, we had to scratch that fight here. It's the reality of sports in 2022. It still will be, and there's still very intense testing. And that is certainly something that Combate Global takes very, very serious. The aerial shot of the Jaula, isn't that glorious? I know our fearless leader Campbell McLaren's watching, and he's very excited about everything that's happening, but we're going to take a look at the bantamweight rankings. This is number 10, Max Gonzalez, and we agree this is the best division.
Yeah, this is the best division. I mean, any of these dudes are just game for the champion bantamweight. Here's Arauz, the Peruvian, over 30 fights, great wrestling, gave a challenge to Franz Blambo. Even Twitter was going buck wild with that result. And then Alex Gonzalez out of the MMA lab, training with the Benson Henderson's such a tap game.
I think Osuna should be higher. Number 7's okay, but I thought he was a top 5 guy.
Yeah, well, again, we could debate, right? Well, we'll have it over coffee.
We could argue.
We could have it over
No more coffee for you. No more coffee.
Carlos Briseño, we just saw him in action. Does he move up after the victory over Andrew Whitney?
I don't know who of these guys he moves ahead of.
Ismael Zamora, great stuff from the ground, great hands. Another guy that maybe, I think he's rightfully so in the number 5.
Yeah. So Lozano maybe a little bit of surprise because we haven't seen him in a minute.
But undefeated, 5-0. Can't take that away from the man.
Number 3, Leo de Jario Muñiz. He's put the work in, and when he looks impressive, it's really impressive.
A pure athlete, to say none the least. He had a great performance.
Midwest ties for him, right?
And then Kevin Corder. I mean, what can we say about this guy?
The favorite at the Copa Combate, but he was second best to the number 1. Yeah.
A little short. Lost by split decision, but 9 victories in a row when he came inside La Jaula for the first time. And then Francis Lambo, man, what a story with this guy. Charismatic inside La Jaula. Phenomenal fighter. Quick, sharp, persistent. He was supposed to meet David Martinez earlier this year. However, we got the injury bug. Maybe we see that fight very soon.
And we don't know, and that opens the door for Cordero or Muñiz or anyone in that top 5 when David Martinez does have another title bout that Malambo, if he's not healthy, but he is the worthy number 1. He's the Copa winner. He beat the guy at number 2. What else can we say? But this is truly a stacked division. There are guys not in this top 10 that we rate very highly.
It's a top-notch ranking, the top 10 fighters in the bantamweight division. I'm sure David Martinez is doing his homework right now, looking at each and single every one of them. Who could be? Maybe he's at just throwing the dart.
But
who's going to be next?
Well, we've said also what's incredible about this, we always ask the fighters, who do you want to fight? Now they can look at that rankings and they say, I want
It's right there. You don't need
them.
a GPS, guys.
Melissa Amaya, learning still on the ropes. Her career in diapers, it's going to go by leaps and bounds as she gets ready for the challenge of Naomi Tataroglu.
My name is Devante Sewell. I am 26 years old and I'm fighting out of Villa Rica, Georgia. I would describe my fighting style as well-rounded. You don't know what I'm gonna do if I decide to grapple, strike, submit, looking for the knockout. I'm just gonna go out there and fight my fight and take what I can get. What motivates me the most if I'm losing a fight, I'm tired, is the losses. You know, I don't want to feel that way again, so it's like, now's the time, grind time, the grinder. With this fight game, you can't tell how the fight could ever go, but I envision the fight, hopefully me getting a quick finish. My last fights, once it's split decisions, the goal is to finish, fight to finish. Either you're hunting or you're being hunted. I know about my opponent that he's in striker. He's from Mexico, so I'm expecting him to have a lot of heart, for sure. Everyone I fight at this point, I feel like it's gonna be a high-level opponent. I'm not fighting scrubs. I would say his striking, if anything, like that's gonna be his biggest weapon that he's gonna try to utilize in the fight, but it's gonna be a surprise for him. I got the big, surprise for him. Yeah, there's gonna be a dogfight I'm expecting him to bring his all, I'm expecting me to bring my all, and let the best man win. War, blood, just a hard fight, just be ready, like, let's go, let's go.
Time now for the co-main event. It is going to be in a catch weight, 120 pounds. USA versus the Netherlands / Turkey / Aruba. Melissa Amaya, unbeaten 3-0 out of Spokane, Washington. Let's get to meet the unbeaten fighter. She prepares for her biggest fight to date.
I started practicing MMA back when I was in nursing school. One of my classmates invited me to a kickboxing class, and I went ahead and did that with her, and I was hooked from day one. I originally started fighting because I needed something like an outlet to work towards, but the reason I actually stuck with it is because of the community that I came into. I love them. I can't imagine my life without them, and I love the kind of mindset that I'm around all the time. The most difficult obstacle in my life, I would say, is I was diagnosed with pretty good depression since I was 16. So that's something that I've struggled extremely. When I go into the jaula, I'm just ready to give everything that I can. I don't like going 3 rounds. Like, I'm there to finish it as quick as I can.
Yeah, fighting is everything for me. I can't think about life without fighting. So yes, I like to punch people and knock people out. I like to do a lot of boxing techniques because I see that a lot of girls don't have the boxing skills. They just do a lot of groundwork and forget to stand up.
Miss Pitbull!
I think I will win this fight because I know my power. And I know there are not a lot of girls, with the same power on my weight like me. My second fight now, I want to prove I can do it better. I don't want to knock her out in the last round. Now I want to knock her out in the first round.
The top here, as you improve your record, you get more challenges, Max.
They come in at 120-pound catchweight, as we mentioned. Amaya, 3 years the senior, 4-inch height advantage, 2-inch via the reach. It's gonna be a good one. Both these doing the talking. Can they walk the walk? Let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Este es el duelo coestelar de esta noche. 3 vueltas a un peso pactado a 120 libras. This is our co-featured bout of the evening, 3 rounds at a catch weight of 120 pounds. Los jueces son, the judges are Dorian Mirasola, Ricardo Celis y Michael Tate. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestida de azul, introducing the blue corner, wearing blue. Su peso oficial, 120 libras y un cuarto, her official weight, 120 and 1/4 pounds. Esta noche, entra a la jaula buscando mantener su récord invicto de 3 victorias. Tonight, she enters la jaula looking to remain undefeated with 3 victories. Oriunda de Chaparral, Nuevo Mexico, and fighting out of Spokane, Washington, La Mamba, Melissa Amaya. En la esquina roja, vestida de color negro in the red corner, wearing black, detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 119 libras y un cuarto. She tipped the scales at an official 119 and 1/4 pounds. En su séptimo combate, con 3 victorias y 3 derrotas. In her 7th professional bout, with 3 victories against 3 losses. Fighting out of Orangestad, Aruba, Miss Pitbull, Naomi Tataroglu. El referee, Marcos Pérez.
Marcos Perez, your third inside la jaula.
Okay, so you already know the rules. I want a clean fight, okay? Obey my command all the time, okay? Toss your glove if you want. Okay, go to your corner.
Touch of gloves is there. Melissa Amaya.
Curious to see. Melissa says she feels very confident with the striking. Naomi's gonna go right from the start. She's gonna be very aggressive. She learned it from a previous fight, was to play that distance. She needs to work on it. She's been working on it, and then learn to shoot for the takedown. Let's see if Naomi explores some of that ground game.
It is Melissa Amaya in the blue. And it was interesting to hear Naomi Tataroglu say, I love to box, and these fighters just don't box like me. That they're not keen on letting their hands fly. That's going to be the game plan. Amaya does have some boxing in her toolbox, but also has that submission. She beat Andrea Amado via first round rear naked choke back in November of last year.
Melissa feeling it out. Even Naomi has respect for her. She's not being right from the start aggressive, pushing the pace.
And Amaya has to use that length. She has to.
She has to. And again, if anything, Melissa could always just switch the levels and go down to the ground. They're just strategizing where to strike, but Melissa be very confident with that. See how she set up that jab, followed up with the right.
Hasn't found the range. Short left by Tataroglu.
Okay,
comes upstairs.
Okay, and that's Naomi's right there. When she pulls that trigger, she just non-stop. She's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, Tataroglu is a beautiful boxer. The compact nature.
Melissa the landing with that jab.
Special hello to our good friend Juliana Peña, who we spoke to today. He's tuning in. Bit of a mentor to a Melissa Amaya. both with the Spokane roots.
She trains with some of the great fighters, with Juliana Pena, Michael Chiesa.
Oh, good kick, Tataroglu.
Rick Leto there, one of the top coaches of the camp. Woo, nice kick there from Melissa.
Tataroglu, who's gone through so much, losing her mother. She says, I try not to cry every day, but I see a photo and the emotions get the best of me. It was the only family member, excuse me, Rodolfo, she says her mother died last year. It was the only family member she had left.
It's crazy to think though, Max, but from that fight, if you remember, and we welcome all the fans to watch it here on Paramount Plus, they can always go back, but she carried a picture of her mom because that day that she fought was the birthday of her mom. In fact, she took some time away from the sport to focus on being next to her mom when she went through her challenges there. She passed away now, but she was there bedside.
Such an awful thing to go, and with all accounts, is Tataroglu so close to her mom, and they were more than just mother and daughter, they were friends. It was her biggest fan across the board, and Tataroglu has to compartmentalize that and get ready for this massive fight for these two. Very sharp on the punches. It's just, can she close the gap? Woo! Good left there by Amaya.
Man, Amaya, very confident. I'm really impressed with her stand-up game here. See how she keeps tight her guard? We can see that she improved it over time from the last time that we saw her in the Jaula.
Training with Sick Jitsu in Spokane. The tutelage of Rick Little. Good exchange again, and reaching out Amaya. Maybe there's a case here, Rodolfo. She's going to let Tataroglu empty the chamber, see what she can do with the punches, and then
attack.
See if she can attack or take it to the ground.
Right. Let's see if she does have a lot of cardio, and I'm talking about Naomi here, and then Melissa can capitalize if she runs out of fuel. Melissa has great cardio. She can withstand in there. She can go 25 minutes if you give her that chance.
Tataroglu describes herself as an aggressive fighter. I like to punch people like a pit bull. I like to knock people out, and that's when she started laughing afterwards. I said her boyfriend is now her husband, who works in the Marines. Wants to make him and her mother proud.
Yeah, but every time that Naomi comes in, Melissa just stops her.
Melissa has just anchored down and taken the center of the Jaula. Blood coming out of the eye.
Look at that.
Tataroglu.
Okay, she can't give her back there. Big mistake for Melissa. Now we go to the ground game that she's very comfortable with.
Tataroglu saw the opportunity and she took it. Now Amaya starting to crank the neck. This is where Amaya wants to be. Not under these terms, but better on the ground. Separates off the mount.
And Naomi calling Melissa to stand up.
The aerial shot from the top of the Jaula. Very quickly, we reach the end of this first round.
Should probably weigh it out here.
Let her up. That should be that of this first round. Eventful.
Naomi has already felt some of the effects in the left eye, and she's bruised up. But they're right from the start, just an exchange. Great interaction from Melissa, man. Just jab and cross straight from the top. Naomi, she wasn't even able to bob and weave. Melissa would just stop her right from the start. Great improvement from this young lady in her stand-up game.
Back here for round two. Tataroglu, who very heavy volume of striking, but Amaya, when she threw, hit with purpose, and she left a little mark there on the left eye of Tataroglu, who is in black, round number two.
Melissa marked her territory very early on. Yeah, and that movement from Naomi is not phasing Melissa. She's using, she talked about that boxing and moving around, but Melissa's just so patient, and every time that she tries to pull that off, she cuts her.
Yeah, Amaya's in a really good spot here. Good game plan, aware of the limitations that Tataroglu can have in the striking game, and she has a lot of ground to cover. Amaya with a big step in, changing angles.
Naomi switching the stance, but Melissa cuts her.
Mma Ruben. Oh, good first jab by Amaya, coming it up over the top. 2 of the 3 judges giving Amaya that first round. Oh, Amaya just sharp, throwing darts right now on Tataroglu.
Yeah, but look what Naomi's doing now. She's switching levels and attacking the body, not going for the face. And it worked.
Good jab, Tataroglu.
Because it brought down Amaya. Let's see if Naomi keeps that.
Gets out of the firing line as Amaya's right hand goes begging.
Woo.
Big grunts there as maybe telegraphed it a little bit. Melissa Amaya, 3-0. Impressive in all 3 of her fights. 1 knockout, 1 submission, 1 pretty convincing decision.
I must say though, Naomi said she worked on the distance, or wanted to work on that distance, and she has been.
By the way, Amaya could fight at 125, now fighting at 120. Good jabs.
Amaya doing much damage with those shots.
And Tataroglu getting a little puffy now from those Amaya strikes.
Hitting with that calf kick, that really low kick. To cut off Naomi's movement. Naomi, a low kick from her.
Amaya, who said, I'm getting exactly what I want, a striker in this fight. Striker that she has a decisive height and reach advantage.
Oh!
Big Tataroglu takedown.
Well, Naomi said, I wanted to take down my opponent. There you have it.
She said she was working on her takedown defense, but
there
this
it
is takedown.
Takedown.
She did get one of those judges' scorecard in the first round. Obviously, it's not ideal to lose the other 2, but it's something to hang your hat on. Something to build here in round 2. This time not letting Amaya up. Very tentative, cautious Amaya on how she makes her next move. And now Jimenez will just let them up. Good officiating there.
Corner of Naomi says to attack the center. There it is, 1-2 combination.
Now finding the mark.
Yep.
That one pushed Amaya back.
Melissa did catch her with that jab, though.
Amaya's got some power in that right hand, no doubt about it. Lead leg kick, Tataroglu. Again, a lot of kickboxing in her arsenal.
Look at Melissa's left leg there, Max.
Getting chewed up a bit.
Little bumps and bruises. I'm sure Naomi will keep attacking that. She keeps switching the stance.
Another good stance. Amaya catches her moving to her left. Tataroglu might be evening this scorecard.
Side kick from Naomi.
Both changing stances. But it's Tataroglu with the volume, continues to throw the majority of the strikes. Needs a little hair fix. That could be a problem.
But much credit to Melissa. She's so patient. Because Naomi keeps just switching and switching and switching. And that's what you got to do in that position. Because she keeps switching and switching. Melissa just needs to walk linear to cut her off. To prohibit her from switching and switching the stance.
We're wondering about Tataroglu's tank. It's
there.
It's there. She's been active with her movement. She's been active with her striking.
Oh.
Now 10 seconds in round 2. First real good takedown from Amaya. Looking to get the back, but she's on the clock. This is where she wants to do some work.
This could end Max. Oh, saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell. Here we go. This is going to be, the margins are very tight right now. No doubt about it.
Close stuff here. As we look at the replay, side kick there from Naomi on the side. Then Melissa follows up with great combination. Very patient, persistent, just waiting for that gap to strike. Not wasting any shots. Then Naomi with the takedown. Followed up again with Melissa Moore, the striking. Switching stands from Naomi. Try to grab Melissa's leg to take her down. didn't suit her way, and then Melissa ends up taking Naomi to the floor, finishing the second round. 5 minutes left, folks.
We are back here for round 2, and we wait with bated breath for these scorecards. Naomi Tataroglu did all the work in round 2. Certainly a better performance than we saw in round 1. It ended with the takedown by Amaya, but it was very late. Tataroglu in black.
Gotta talk to Naomi there. It's like a superstition. Every time the bell rings, she punches the corner. I don't know what it is.
Well, something to
I'm
ask.
curious to see.
And now Tataroglu center of the Jaula again. Better with the kicking. Amaya needs more output. Needs to match that intensity too. She did get 2 of the 3 scorecards, but what about round 2?
Yeah, let's take a look here.
Tataroglu continues to be mobile. The tank's gonna be there.
And by the way, kudos to these both ladies. I mean, this is their time to shine.
This is huge for both these women.
They were supposed to be right before the main card. They get this call.
And it shows you the width and breadth of these Combate cards. This was on the prelims. It gets shot up as a co-main. This feels like a co-main event.
And it's delivering. And we've said it all the time. The women always deliver inside La Jaula.
They sure do. And how about the scorecards? Amaya got round 2 again. She got all 3 cards.
All right, so let's see. Naomi needs to push the pedal here. I don't know if Naomi's corner is screaming at her to let her know, hey, let's go.
It's got to be frustrating. She's put so much work in, but it's not been good enough. But that controlled, confident approach from Amaya, where she can strike at any moment, has paid off in a big way. And you feel we still haven't seen the best from her. But this is a really professional, experienced job by Amaya.
Amaya is just blooming as a fighter. Every time we see her in here, we see a different side, and she adapts to the fighter.
Will Amaya go 4-0? She unfurls a bunch of punch. And Tataroglu, if she can get the victory, she becomes a real player in all likelihood there at 115. They get into the clinch, slips out. Tataroglu not satisfied with getting into those entanglements.
Yeah, Naomi needs to work on that jab to throw her off, because see how Melissa's kind of crunching in.
Going upstairs.
So work the body. You can use those jabs to land in the face and the body to bring Melissa to you. As for Melissa, I mean, she's doing a great job with what she's doing. Being patient, allowing Naomi to do more of the movement, which could trigger your cardio, right? But Naomi's card is on point.
Yeah,
she's not slowing down.
Amaya's still there, controlled. Now they start to get into the deep water. Amaya working, single punching out. Everything connecting for Amaya. Melissa Amaya, we talked to her. She says, I was that sore loser as a kid. I hated losing. I have learned to control it as an adult, but I still don't like it. And I don't want to experience it. Tataroglu right under the chin, but Amaya takes her down.
Amaya has seen enough from Naomi, so she went down to the ground where she feels super duper extra confident on the ground game.
Tataroglu doing well to get out. Trying to crank on that neck.
And great takedown defense here from Naomi to keep this fight on the... Oh, she has to be careful with that. She can't do that.
Wow, careful.
Yeah.
She's a grounded fighter. You can't kick. She's got to wait.
Thank goodness she didn't connect.
Almost did.
Oh, she did.
She didn't nurse it. Marcos Perez saying you can't do that. This could be a point, and that could be...
Yeah, because that was a second warning there.
Amaya laughing. she put the bait out.
You okay?
That one nipped her. But come on, they warn you the first.
Certainly
and
with
then
the kicks
second.
and the elbows when the opponent is grounded, you can't
you got
do
that
it.
one knee down, or any of your body on the ground, you can't kick, you can't knee, you can't punch.
Won't be the point deduction, perhaps, because he didn't connect.
They pride rules back then, where you were allowed to do that.
I think that was just a case of being impatient for Tataroglu.
Yeah.
There's no bad intentions there. She just wants to keep fighting.
And the momentum was so good, right? It was
Maya
just
has
going
such
great.
good control of the cage.
All right, here we go. Just where we left off, Max.
Oh, big right hand, Amaya! Caught Tataroglu Tataroglu coming in.
Oh!
But she can take a punch.
Yeah, Amaya wants to switch levels. Naomi needs to push.
This is tremendous. We have seen Melissa Amaya take that next step. She has fought the striker. She has controlled this fight. She is the bigger of the fighters. Big kick to that lead leg. Amaya just eats it.
And Amaya switching stance herself.
Curling up. 30 seconds left.
With great composure from Melissa. Oh! Nice hook.
These are hard punches. Another switch of the stance, but time running out for Tataroglu. Amaya, cool and collected and confident. Working that left hand like a machete.
Oh.
End of the fight. It's gonna be Melissa Amaya's night. What a co-main.
Good stuff. Naomi was a different competitor, a different opponent. Persistent, aggressive, right from the start, and great technique. And Melissa just found those opportunities where she can land the shot. She found those gaps. You'll see it right here. Of course, she wanted to go down to the ground where she felt very comfortable, but she said it in the interview prior, I want to test myself. I want a kickboxer. I want to show you that I'm very confident with my hands, with my stand-up. And she did. She proved it here tonight inside La Jaula. As we await the final result from La Voz, The Voice, Lupe Contreras.
Entertaining night of fights. We still have a big one coming your way in the main event as we burn the midnight oils and then go beyond it. You see Rick Little in there with his fighter, Melissa Amaya, looking to crack the smile. You don't see fighters like her. Just goes to the beat of a different drummer, has overcome a whole lot. She talked about her depression. She doing incredible service as a nurse. First thing she told us is how difficult dealing with the politics and how it takes away from the time she can spend with her patients. Just good peeps doing great work out there, and we appreciate it. Some excellent matchmaking here with this fight. Melissa Amaya knows it's going to get harder and harder, but she's answering the bell each and every time. Naomi Tataroglu against the bigger fighter was very game, but now we'll see if it was enough as we go to Lupe Contreras.
Después de 3 vueltas, esta es la decisión oficial. After 3 rounds, the official decision goes as follows. El juez Mirasola anotó 30-27 a favor de Amaya. Judge Mirasola scores it 30-27 in favor of Amaya. El juez Tate 29-28 a favor de Tataroglu. Judge Tate scores it 29-28 in favor of Tataroglu. Y el juez Celis anotó 29-28. Judge Celis scores it 29-28 in favor of the winner. By way of split decision, a favor de la ganadora, por decisión dividida, La Mamba, Melissa Amaya.
Got interesting there on the scorecards. The gap closed and the...
I felt it.
We pumped up the nerves for sure. But Melissa Amaya, how about that? We have seen her grow. Now 4-0, picking up fights. She'll be wanting to get back in there. We'll let you know when that's next. But right now, it's time for the main event. Devante Sewell and Ramiro El Cachanilla Jimenez. Devante Sewell and Ramiro Jimenez, your main event. A huge opportunity for the man with Jamaican roots who has been pressed in his MMA career in recent matchups. And now Ramiro Jimenez, the 5-0 fighter. Before we introduce you to El Cachanilla, a closer look at Devante Sewell.
My parents are from Jamaica. I have a bunch of family out there. I love it. I love the food. I love the environment. I love the music. Jamaica, that's home. That's in the heart. Fighting, representing Jamaica means a lot. It just gives people opportunity and hope to think like, hey, you know what? We could do something better than just doing negativity. Jamaican fighters, well, I'll tell you, they're the best fighters. We come and fight hard. My first MMA fight, honestly, I fought a guy with 10 amateur fights. I drove down there and TKO'd him in the first round. The rest was history. I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this. I think I'm gonna win this fight because, I'm hungry right now. It's grind time, let's go. I don't have my eyes set on anyone just yet in the La Jaula. First, it's gonna start Friday night with Ramiro, Jimenez.
Crecí en la ciudad de Mexicali, Baja California, una ciudad pequeña. Crecí criado por mi madre. Lo que más me gusta de mi país, la comida, como todo buen mexicano, los tacos, la calidez también de la gente. No te lo ofrece en muchas partes como te lo ofrece México.
¡El Cachanilla!
Yo comencé a raíz de bullying. Ahí empecé con el amor a las artes marciales. Me gustaba el soccer también, pero decidí cambiarlo por las artes marciales mixtas. El desafío más grande que ha sido para mí ha sido la fractura de mi mano el año pasado. Ahorita, gracias a Dios, volví antes de lo que tenía planeado poder volver aquí a la jaula de combate global. Yo siempre pienso que la pelea se va a desarrollar a los 3 rounds, que va a ser una guerra, ¿me entiendes? Si el destino lo quiere, yo voy a finalizarlo en el primer round. Esa es mi meta.
Today, he'll get a tough challenge against Devante. Let's see what he's all made of tonight.
Head-to-head, 2 very young fighters, 2-inch height advantage for El Cachanilla, 1.5 via the reach. We are in the featherweight division, both fighters making weight. Featherweight rankings are out, check them out. But first, to Lupe Contreras.
Este es el duelo estelar de esta noche. 3 vueltas en la división peso pluma. This is the main event. 3 rounds in the featherweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Vicente Rodríguez, Dorian Mirasola, Ricardo Celis. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de negro, presenting the blue corner, wearing black. Su peso oficial, 145 libras y media, his official weight, 145.5 pounds. En 16 combates, mantiene un récord de 9 victorias y 7 derrotas en 16 pro bouts. He maintains a record of 9 victories against 7 losses. De Villarrica, Georgia, and representing his homeland of Jamaica, Devante, the Grinder Sewell. En la esquina roja, vestido de blanco in the red corner, wearing white, su peso oficial, 144 libras y media, his official weight, 144.5 pounds. Esta noche, entra a la jaula de combate global invicto a nivel profesional, con 5 victorias tonight. He enters la jaula undefeated as a pro with 5 victories. Puro Chicali, Baja California, México. El Cachanilla, Ramiro Jimenez. El referee, Alana Vélez.
Alana Vélez, the third inside La Jaula.
Locker room, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. If you want to touch him up, go ahead. Come out, fight. Dorian.
Devante Sewell does not want to leave it to the judges. He's had his heart ripped out by them in the past, his last 2 fights. He could be 11-5 if a little tad here, a little switch. Now he's got to pick up the pieces, and what a way to do it against an undefeated fighter, Sewell in the black shorts.
Ramiro ranked in the featherweight rankings as number 6. And all those rankings are available right now on the Combate Global socials or the website, combateglobal.com.
It's a stacked featherweight. Number 1, Javier Rios. We can't wait to see the Colombian who was so impressive earlier this year. And impressive enough to get the number 1 ranking. It's vacant, the title. So we look forward to maybe crowning a champion sooner than later here in 2022. The question here for Cachanilla, how timid is it with the hand? It's been a long time since that fracture happened, but it's still got to be in his head.
Well, he's practiced it many times. You know, he's had that 1-year period to really test it and put away that mental thought of any potential injuries to the hand. It's a lot stronger hand. He went to rehab. He had a little setback, he said, but he was able to bounce back. What's impressive is here, as Devante says, listen, I'm a well-rounded fighter. I can go to the top, I can go to the bottom. We're watching it right here. Hence, this is why it's a tough challenge for Ramiro. Devante has great wrestling. We see
Big left hand by Jimenez. That's his moneymaker.
We've seen Ramiro with a great stand-up, but what can he do on the ground? Devante could be the guy that could test it. Now, credit to Ramiro. Ramiro's now training in South Florida with the Goat Shed Academy, where they have just some studs in wrestling.
Missing pretty badly on that overhand right. Sewell got caught. Good chin.
Great body
Upstairs,
shot.
downstairs. That one hurt too. You can hear the thud. Jimenez feeling good with that left hand now. Starting to get it working.
Devante backpedaling now.
Yep. Beautiful footwork here for Jimenez.
Oh, just precision from Ramiro.
Oh, you can see the talent. Big clubbing hand by Sewell. Single leg attempt.
And you saw Devante, he hit that right and then went for the body to here maybe finish off this takedown. Although Ramiro using La Jaula as protection, not going to the ground, but he's gonna rip that lock there, turn around, flip around. Yep, that's exactly what he had to do. Now he has to push off. Now he's pinning Devante. Now, oh, he nearly had for the takedown.
Just set a really nice base, did Jimenez. Training out of Goat Shed here in Miami, which is also where Christian Puas Perez trains.
Devante breathing in heavy. We're just 3 minutes into this fight. Underhooks were ripped open. Now Devante got his composure. Nice jab there to the body from Ramiro.
He's been working that left hand, but he hasn't had a sharp delivery yet, but maybe it's imminent.
Ooh.
Good short hand by Sewell. He got caught. Big left that time.
And every time, Max, that Ramiro exchanges,
Again.
you'll see Devante go for the wrestling for the attempt at the takedown. He knows the power that Ramiro has.
This is a superior talent in Jimenez. A little rusty, no doubt about it. Throwing Sewell into the cage. From Mexicali, nicknamed El Cachanilla, a plant in that area. He says he looks forward to winning a fight so he can hear Lupe say, Puro Chicali.
Jimenez out there standing F. Nelson, but not going to the legs. Trying to grab in that left leg for a takedown. That wasn't having enough. Devante with a shot with the knee to the body. Ripping up, taking this fight.
Sewell's hung in pretty well there.
Yeah.
And he's getting his.
Hook. Whoa.
Came low, he may have got kneed.
Oh,
He got
wait
caught
a
by
minute,
that
Max.
knee.
This
Here
could
comes
be it.
Jimenez.
Devante could be in trouble.
Sewell's hurt. He got caught by that knee coming in. It may have been an accident. It doesn't matter. Sewell's in big
Step
trouble.
in, Max.
Sewell cannot defend himself.
He's out.
It's over.
Whoa.
A bizarre finish, but it's a finish nonetheless. El Cachanilla is back.
And I couldn't see it from that angle, Max, but it seemed he was out even a little earlier. I couldn't see it.
He walked into a knee of Jimenez, and that rocked him.
Lived up to the hype, folks.
That is
6-0
massive.
for a reason. Wow.
Sewell just got caught. I don't know if it was a strike that Jimenez wanted to unfurl, but he walked right into it.
Shout out there to his mom. Well, what hand injury? I didn't see anything, Max.
I believe our first fight not to go the distance.
Yep.
Another first round finish as he screams Goat Shed to the Goat Shed peeps in the back.
Wow.
His third straight first round TKO.
Amazing
Make it,
stuff.
I'm sorry, 4 first round finishes.
Yep.
And he just beat the bell. back here inside La Jaula, and Ramiro Jimenez is back in the top 10 in the featherweight divisions, and now 6-0 and rising with the bullet to Lupe Contreras.
Este combate termina con un tiempo oficial de 4 minutos 36 segundos del primer episodio. This bout concludes with an official time of 4 minutes 36 seconds of the opening round. Your winner, by way of KO, el vencedor por knockout, Puro Chicali, el Cachanilla, Ramiro Jimenez.
He heard Puro Chicali, and he improves to 6-0. And to the victor the spoils. You'll enjoy it with the folks from Goat Shed, and we'll take another look. We'll put a bow on an exciting night from Combate Global. And you know this is just going to get better. We cannot wait to see who he fights next, when he fights next. But with that first round finish, it may be sooner than we all think, but a super talent, one of many, a long list of prodigious talents that you will find here at Combate Global that call that Jaula home.
Global, in fact, Max. So many competitors from different parts of the world. You get to see them here inside La Jaula.
By the way, the action does not stop throughout the summer. We will be here just about every Friday. Some special weekend shows too coming your way. Be back next Friday as we take a look at this fight. We'll find out exactly where it ended for Sewell. Something rocked him.
Yeah, we're going to see here the replay. This is exactly what I wanted to see. As we saw some exchanging here from both these dudes. Devante wanted to take this to the ground, but Ramiro just wanted to keep it standing. He wanted to show off and display and tell you, hey, forget about that hand injury, man. My hand's 110%. Let me just show you what I got.
Look how well he works that left hand.
Oh, man, just so he found that opening. He bobbed and weaved. Precise with the shots. Didn't waste it. There.
It was
okay, it was a knee. Okay,
yeah.
so he ran into that knee.
He ran
but
right
see,
into
look,
that knee.
But look, was he out right there? Right. Because he wasn't, there's a point right there where he, right there. See, it almost seemed like he wasn't doing anything at all.
He was still alert, but it was like, those are big punches afterwards.
Right.
There, right, it was an accident.
Oh, it was, yeah.
He was going for a takedown, he ran right into
caught.
that knee.
He got caught. And here we can see it from the referee's position or referee's camera. Right there, 1, 2. Because he was still defending, he was still grabbing onto the leg, so good eye on Anna Labella's of letting go of the fight as long as it did.
We should have called it an accident. I mean, that was a knee that was thrown. If you came in, that's...
You got caught.
You got caught.
You got caught.
You don't know where it's coming from. And Jimenez kept active and was able to get another first round finish, 6-0.
And we got some great action next week as too, Max. Ooh, keeps getting better and better.
This guy's got his finger on the pulse. He knows everything that's coming.
It's hot outside, but it's hotter in La Jaula. Let's go to an interview. We'll do the introduction. Yep, we'll do ahead and do the translation. Thank you very much. Good night.
Feliz,
I feel happy.
aliviado ya
Relieved
de este compromiso que tenía hace
of
meses.
this.
Entonces es un alivio para mí ya por fin estar de vuelta aquí en Combate
I
Global.
feel great to return
Y
here
más que
in
nada en
Combate
una
Global
cartelera estelar.
and be part of the main event. And pardon us, because these are questions that are being said in Spanish.
You don't know the questions, Rodolfo?
Están completamente sanas.
But work with me here.
Después de una buena rehabilitación de más de un año.
Okay, I had a rehabilitation for about a year,
Perfecto estado ahorita.
but now we're good. Said you've been out for 1 year.
Sí, claro. Pues,
You are number 6
pues,
ranked.
que sigue para mí
But for me,
subir y
I want to climb
pues
and
tengo ahí
climb.
unos cuantos nombres, ¿no? Que quisiera
There are some
futuro
numbers that
enfrentar.
I want to take on.
Gracias. Un saludo ahí para toda mi gente de
Shout out
Mexicali que ahorita me
to
está
my
viendo,
people,
para mi madre hermosa.
Mexicali
Te
and my
extraño
mom.
mucho, madre, te amo.
Love
Y
you,
estos
Mom.
días nos vamos a volver a ver. Créeme.
We'll see you again.
Con favor de
Trust
Dios.
me.
Nos
With
vemos.
the help of
Buenas
God.
noches. Gracias otra
We'll
vez
see you
por el
again.
apoyo. Combate
Have a
Global.
great night. Thank you for Combate Global. Is that all right?
Yeah, and by the way, first, thanks to Combate, I got to go to Mexicali in 2019. I always remind these people, great Mexican food, great Chinese food. A lot of Chinese families immigrated there, so go to Mexicali. It's a great spot. Well, our undefeated fighters stay that way. Melissa Amaya to 4-0, Ramiro Jimenez to 6-0. And that makes them, well, just bigger draws. It also puts a target on them. And the rankings are out, and we encourage you to go onto social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and argue. Where do we get it right? Where do we get it wrong? There is the gold standard in bantamweights, the champion, the Black Spartan, David Martinez.
That's the man that they want to dethrone, but could it be this man that takes the gold away from the waist of David Martinez? We saw him in action in Copa Combate. They were supposed to fight earlier this year. Of course, the injury bug got the best of them, but hang on tight. Maybe that fight happens later on this year.
The pride of the Canary Islands.
The Spaniard, this dude, man, just top notch. Came in with a long win streak. Got stopped by France. These bantamweight rankings are serious things, as you said, Max. I mean, we could have a debate over coffee.
6 Mexicans, a Peruvian, an Irishman, 2 Americans. Did I say Peruvian? I think I did.
Yes, you did.
There's your top 10. Read them and weep.
We're
As the
global,
great
man.
Chris Berman said. We sure are. And that is subject to change. You have the 2 Europeans at the top, but you have the Mexicans and Americans fighting to get up there. Next week, we are back again, and look who will be joining us. This one a little bit further ahead on July the 8th. Some of the real heavy hitters that will be looking to make the ranks, including Angel Alvarez.
Alvarez coming off that great victory he had recently. And then, of course, Baby Bull.
Baby Bull's back.
That's
Was missed
right.
out of the injury. That is what a main event, Alvarez and Gonzalez. We are out of time. Big impressions made. Melissa Amaya, Cachanilla remaining undefeated on behalf of our entire crew, headed up by Art Izquierdo and Victor Bagué. My colleague, Rodolfo Roman. My name is Max Bretos. Till next time, Placido Domingo.